Your life.
All right. Thank you, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reich. We are awaiting with great anticipation the verdict in the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation trial. And one person that will not be at the reading of the jury verdict is Johnny Depp. Apparently, he still remains in England as he jetted over there for a concert or something to that effect. And so Miss Heard will be there to receive the verdict. The attorneys are all there. And I've mentioned this before for the attorneys and obviously for the defendants as well. This is the worst part right here. Okay. The second worst part is kind of the waiting, but when they say they have a verdict and that waiting time to get everybody into the courtroom, that is the most nerve-wracking thing of all. So the question is going to become, obviously, did the jury who has been deliberating, they had deliberated a couple of hours on Friday of last week, they deliberated all day yesterday, and until today, I think about an hour ago, they said that they had a verdict, and so it's about 3 p.m., almost 3 p.m. Eastern time on the East Coast there in Virginia, where this trial is taking place, has been taking place for the last 6 weeks or so. So obviously you can tell the attorneys by the look, they're nervous. They're, normal behavior, trying to act calm. It's okay. Of course, there's always the, when you're the attorney there, the clients, they love you. And if you lose, they're going to hate you immediately following this. And, you just have to wait and see. Obviously, a lot of people think, or a lot of people are there rooting for Johnny Depp. The question then becomes, did that influence the jury in any way? The fans that they had to drive by, the jury wasn't sequestered. And, does that play into it? We'll have to wait and see. And this is the kind of the beautiful thing about it is, other than the people in the jury, nobody knows what the verdict may be. Obviously, they has 3 questions as it related to the defamation statements, basically regarding domestic and sexual abuse that Mr. Depp adamantly and vehemently denies. Miss Heard, both Johnny Depp and Mr. Heard testified throughout this trial. And, this is just one of those cases where it really comes down to, what is the jury going to believe? There's also the issue as it relates to the First Amendment and, is this protected speech? Frankly, Johnny Depp's team had a difficult task to do to get over that public figure free speech protection. The court didn't kick the case at various times in the legal process where they could have. Basically said, let's have the jury decide. So here we have it, and this is going to be the case. Does Johnny Depp win? And how much money does he get? We have the counterclaims of Amber Heard, where she was seeking $100 million, where she alleged that Mr. Depp, along with his attorney, basically came up with a plan to ruin her career, which has cost her a bunch of money throughout the years. My analysis on this case has been that neither one of these parties really has clean hands. But they're in court. They're all entitled to their day in court. We'll see. The court, when they read the verdict, it could come back all in favor of Johnny Depp, or nothing for Amber Heard, or vice versa. Johnny Depp gets nothing, Amber Heard gets nothing, or they all get nothing, or maybe they each slandered everybody and give them some money or no money at all. We'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, Johnny Depp asked for $50 million. They could say, maybe it was more than that, if they believe that what Amber Heard said in that op-ed that appeared in the Washington Post editorial was written by basically the staff at the ACLU, and they got her approval. She put her name on it, so that's, if it's defamatory, it's on her. It's not like they didn't sue the ACLU, and they didn't bring them in as third parties or anything along those lines. Dorothy wants to know, could the verdict be a draw and take a token amount, award such as $1 for each of them? Yes, they could. They could. We'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. Lady De La Haye, I'm so nervous for Team Johnny. Barrett says, Lori Barrett, nobody has clean hands, but some are filthy. I'm assuming referring to Amber Heard. Amber Heard did not present well throughout this process. Okay. I think most people would agree with that. I think Johnny Depp, although he had to air some ugly, dirty laundry about his alcohol and drug use, but he, I think, came out much better in the court of public opinion in this matter, and will probably be able to get some gigs again, so to speak. We'll have to wait and see. I'd be curious to think what the jury thinks that Mr. Depp, the plaintiff, and the defendant, based upon the cross counterclaims of Miss Heard, isn't here in court. This was so important, but yet you couldn't be here for the big verdict. It's always interesting. In my line of work, we do a lot of criminal defense work. The defendant has to be there. I think I've only had one client that ever failed for the reading of the verdict. Apparently didn't think things were going very well for him. But yes, the defendant absolutely has to be there. The court can take the verdict if the defendant absents. And in a civil case, as long as you have the authorities for the attorneys to say, yes, you can take the verdict without me, they can do that. That's not a big deal. I just curious when the jury comes out and they notice that Johnny Depp isn't there, they're gonna be like, this is so important for you, but your band gigs in England were more important. I understand it was a long trial, but everyone has to be there. But it really doesn't matter. Their decision is made. Okay. So when the jury comes out, they'll all shuffle in. The four-person will usually have the jury instructions. Sometimes they're put into an envelope. The court will ask the bailiff to take the documents over to the judge. The judge will look at them, make sure the verdicts are in order. And then the court usually will read the verdicts. Usually won't make anybody stand in this particular case. It's a civil matter. And either side can ask for the jury to be polled. And that is where they can ask the jurors, is this, you affirm that this is your decision, a unanimous decision. We'll see if that takes place. We're about 2 minutes away here from hopefully the jury coming out. They've been pretty prompt as far as schedules go, at least the stuff that I've seen. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Clearly if there was a favorite, it'd be, Team Depp for sure. Both sides made good points. Both sides had a couple of moments that I think they wish they would have back. Welcome to a trial. It's really unscripted theater when you think about it, because everybody thinks they know what people are going to say. They've interviewed them, they've read their statements, but you never know until they get on the stand how they really. And it's not like it's all a bunch of trained actors. We got it pretty close in this case, at least with the defendants and the plaintiffs. But you just never know. Trials are very fluid, and you just have to take them kind of as they go. Kind of the old adage that, the perfect plan is good until basically the first round is fired. and then all hell breaks loose, and then you have to adjust accordingly. There's things that you thought were gonna, maybe help you in front of a jury, and you can sometimes get a feeling like that is not working. We got to switch a little bit here, change things up a little bit as well. So we'll just have to wait and see here. We're just a couple of minutes away from the jury coming out. It's exactly 1 o'clock. So let's see if the jury is going to be coming back in here. You would think they got to be getting close. As you can see, the attorneys aren't, they're talking amongst themselves, at least on the heard side, but that's normal. You got to keep the client calm. There's no client to worry about on Johnny Depp's side because he's not here. But they're all looking pretty humble, pretty timid, because they don't know what the verdict will be. Every now and then you just don't understand. Oh, here the jury is rising. Let's go ahead and go live here.
I understand we have a verdict. All right, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. All right. Just for everybody in the gallery, reminder that this is a court of law, and regardless of the verdict, I will not tolerate any outbursts whatsoever. Okay? Thank you.
Standard admonition that the court gives one way or the other. Hopefully nobody violates a court order. My mic is on, right? Here we go. I wish we could see the jury. No one's really looking at them. You can't tell. They're usually not looking one way or the other. Amber Heard, it's the only one there. Let's see what her reaction is when the verdict comes down. The court's reviewing the...
If I could have the attorney's approach for a moment.
Oh. All right. The court was reviewing the documents, the jury instructions, to make sure everything's in order, and then asked the parties to approach. Usually that takes place when the court notices that something is maybe perhaps wrong and out of order. Maybe we'll find out here in a second. If they send the jury back with some instructions, I guess we'll all know. We wait patiently. What do you think is going through Amber Heard's mind at this moment? She's looking pretty humble. Throughout the trial, there were several smirks and things like that of that nature. Let's see. Couldn't really tell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I need you to do, I need to give the forms back to you.
I knew it.
When you find for a defamatory statement, one or more, you need to fill out the compensatory damages. It has to be at least $1 for compensatory damages and up to whatever you feel the damages should be. And for punitive damages, you can put a 0 there, or you can fill out that as well. But I need those lines filled out. Okay. All right. So if I can have you retire back to the operation room and do that for me. Okay.
Ooh. Well, that's not good. That's not good. So the judge just telegraphed a little bit for us there.
All right. So we'll be in recess till we hear back from them. Don't go too far. Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. So there you had it. The jury was called back, said they were all good to go. And as I explained, the judge would get a copy of the verdict forms, make sure everything is in order. And she called the attorneys to the bench to say, please approach. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. Usually that happens if there's something that needs to take place. Can we go ahead and look at the camera? I want to see what the attorneys are huddling about. Maybe we can read something on that. But the judge's statement says that if you find a defamatory statement, you have to find for a compensatory damages, which could be $1, or punitive damages. So that would make me think that the court said, yes, there were some defamatory statements that were made, but they didn't fill out a dollar amount for the compensatory damages. And then if there's punitive damages, the court said you can also put that in. So it would make one think that the jury believed somebody committed defamation. We don't know who. And that's why I was trying to see if we could tell what the huddle was going on for there in when that took place. Now, the other thing is that they didn't put any dollar amount. So maybe they said, yeah, there's defamation, but we don't think it's worth any money, or we're going to give you maybe $1 at this point. I mean, that's kind of the whole part of this process, right? Okay, it's defamatory, but we give you $0. Well, they got to give you at least $1 if you win. So, you know, now they have to go back, and they could be like, oh yeah, let's just give them $1, or let's give them $100 million. But they have to kind of start their deliberations again. So it makes you think this may not be a short break. The judge told the jury told the attorneys not to go too far, because she thinks that they will not be too long. Oh, that's too funny. That's not the one I want. It's oh my God, this is too funny. It's going by so fast, but oh my God, this was too funny. They pledged an amount. Michigan, I love it. that is too funny. Somebody, Ariana says maybe they didn't decide what to decide on the amount, hoping the judge will do it. No, that's not up to the judge. That is up to them, the jury. And that's part of the process of when you do jury instructions. I like, when I do jury instructions, put it on the Elmo, those overhead projectors, and say, here's the verdict form. If it's a criminal case, you've got, the prosecution has failed to prove their case, not guilty. The prosecution's proven their case, guilty, check it. I like to go through back then. Here's the verdict form. It's real simple. Just go back here and check not guilty. You have to tell them what you want, show them how to do it. I don't think there was any of that in the closing arguments. It was just more of like, here it is. This is why, that's about it. But they didn't kind of say the dollar amount, was my recollection. It was just kind of, we'll leave it up to you. So if you don't tell them what you want, how are they supposed to know? So that's interesting. But as soon as the court said, come on up, after she was reviewing the jury instructions, that's not a good sign. That means something is screwed up. So now the question becomes, are they going to deliberate for 5 minutes? Are they going to deliberate for another 5 hours? Like, oh, we decided whether it was a defamatory statement or not, but now we got to decide money, which is interesting because, what did they think what did they think they were back there doing? This is a money case. This is their job to decide, was there a defamatory statement? If so, was somebody damaged? And what is the damage to try to make them whole again, if you can? And that's a little confusing that the jury didn't get that. I don't know, but the fact that they put no dollar amount in there, but the court said, if you find a defamatory statement, you must put in a compensatory damages, and then you can put in a punitive damages. You have to put in a number. She said it can be up to as little as $1 for the compensatory damages and any amount they want on the punitive damages. So maybe they're thinking, yeah, it's defamatory, but there were no damages. I guess we will just never know until, the jurors make their way to all the live television interviews afterwards, their 15 minutes of fame saying, yes, I was on the Johnny Depp civil trial, but, wait for my book, or let me tell you in, my interview on 2020 or whatever it is, Good Morning America tonight. We'll just have to wait and see. So let's see here. This is what Pajama Mama, that's what I'm thinking, that one of them won the case and defamed the other. So someone gets awarded money. Otherwise, if it was not guilty, it wouldn't be an issue. Yeah. I mean, that's, based upon the court's statement, it sounds like somebody considered it to be defamation. But the fact they didn't put a dollar amount in there makes me think that if they come back rather quickly, that it will be like a very low dollar amount, say $1, $10. It's just very, very interesting to see what takes place. And we don't know for sure. We'll just have to wait to see together. Try and look at some of the comments here. Yeah, the lawyers kept saying it wasn't about the money. When lawyers are talking in a civil case, everything's about the money. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't drive that. I just don't remember in the closing argument that either side said, driving it home, go back there and start out with 10 zeros and then put a 1 in front of it or something along those lines. There wasn't I didn't see any of that or remember seeing any of that. Nikki wants to know, is it true that the judge decided to steal the names of jurors because she was worried about Amber Heard's reaction? No. The jurors' identities in these type of cases are concealed, so to speak, so that people do not get to see them. For some reason, when I hit on those super chats, the curious Irish hit, did they possibly think it was about 50 million that he was asking, or maybe felt bad that Amber Heard has been punished enough with her rep now? It's very possible. I mean, curious Irish angel, I think that's really what it, like I said, you can't read anything into it. We didn't see the verdict forms, but the judge gave us a bit of a hint that she said, when you find a defamatory statement, you must put in some compensatory damages. It could be as little as $1 or more, or punitive damages up to basically any amount. So what the court's saying is you got it wrong, at least on 1 or maybe 3 of the alleged defamatory statements, and now you got to come up with a dollar amount. And so, like I said, this could take maybe another 5 minutes, or this could take another 5 hours for them to think, what could it be? But the fact they didn't fill it in makes me think that even if we find defamatory statement, nobody gets any money. That's my thinking. I mean, that's what the whole that's what the whole case was about. The whole case was about money. And that's why I wanted to see, the attorneys weren't showing a whole lot of emotion at that point, but clearly they were all huddling amongst themselves at their respective tables once the jury was sent back. I guess I don't know if the judge let them know that, hey, there's a dollar amount in this, or they just didn't fill it out completely. So I'm going to instruct them to that effect and not let the parties know. But, she hinted pretty hard here that, hey, if you find a defamatory statement, you got to put in some dollar amounts, and you didn't do that. And this is a classic case of, okay, jury, you had one job. You had one job. And that was the most important part of the job. If you find defamation, you got to put in a dollar amount. That was their, I guess, one of their two jobs in this particular case. But now we sit and wait. Yes, and Johnny is in the UK, which, you know, if it makes you wonder, you know, Johnny Depp was at every court hearing. It wasn't, you know, it was about clearing his good name. And then that one moment that he could be there to tell the jury, thank you for your service. Thank you for being patient, you know, afterwards. Maybe or maybe not, but at least he had his day in court, and he's not there. And now they got to go back and decide the money, and thinking he's not there. Does he not think this case is important? Well, if he doesn't care, why should we? Let's, you know, so many things can be read into that for sure. Yeah. Why isn't Johnny in court? It's a civil case. You know, you have to have a representative there. Oh, they're back. Here we go. Let's see if they got it right this time. Let's see if we can tell anything. If the Depp attorneys appear to be a little more happy, or are they still very stoic, or are Amber Heard's attorneys happy or stoic? What does it really mean? It didn't apparently take too long. Maybe they just did all the excitement of the moment. The jury got just ahead of themselves, a little bit over their skis, and like, all right, we found a defamatory statement. Oh, we forgot to write that number in. Oh, so jumping back, why isn't Johnny in court? It's a civil case. Doesn't necessarily have to be there for that. I think it looks bad. You know, puts everybody through 6 weeks of trial that you asked them to come and take a chunk of their life out to hear your civil case, but yet you couldn't be here for this. I mean, this case got on for 6 weeks. You couldn't stay just a couple more days. I think it's a little bit of bad taste, but hey, he doesn't have to be there. He's not in any trouble. They advised the court. Apparently the court didn't have a problem with it. But that's just the way it goes. So there's a question here. Let me go back and see if I can find a question. Yes. Yes. As far as damages, compensatory damages, that's damages that from the conduct you can actually show. Oh, I lost this amount of money from this contract that was canceled. There really wasn't any specific testimony as to that. You could also, you know, kind of throw in the, you know, non-economic damages, which are pain, suffering, things of that nature. And then punitives are damages if you find that the conduct was so outrageous that the only way to deter and to punish somebody is to, in fact, impose additional money. So here we go. Once again, the judge has taken the bench.
Shall we try this again? All right, let's do that. All right, we're ready for the jury.
So once again, the bailiff will get the jury. They will bring them out, and the court will then review the verdict forms again to make sure they are, in fact, completed accurately, or completed. It doesn't have to be accurately, but at least completed where they need to be completed. It didn't take long. They were maybe only out maybe 5 to 7 minutes, I think. So they must have been pretty close amounts. It's not like they're going to have a big conversation on that. So we'll see. Amber Heard looks frozen here on my screen. Yeah. Yeah, the source feed froze. Let's see. All right, here we're back. Charlie looks like she's crying. Maybe she knows that they found her.
All right.
Making
Mr.
it
Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes.
All right. Is it unanimous?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Jamie?
All right. So apparently in Virginia, the clerk
In civil
reads it.
case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Wow.
Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes.
Wow.
Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
Wow.
Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Wow.
2,
Wow.
as to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, "Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out," end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Ouch.
3,
Ouch.
as to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," in the Washington Post on quote, "I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse," end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
Wow.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp. 1. As to this statement, appearing in the April 8, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no.
Ooh.
2. As to this statement, appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Ooh.
Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to this statement, appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, we've reached the beginning of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million.
Wow.
As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
All right. Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Jamie?
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Juror number 10.
Yes.
Juror number 15.
Yes.
Juror number 16.
Yes.
Juror number 22.
Yes.
Juror number 27. Juror number 29.
Yes.
Okay. I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service in this matter, okay? So I'm gonna have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there, okay? All right, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The jury found in favor of Johnny Depp on all three of his defamation claims, stating that
Okay. In accordance with law, I will amend the punitive damages award to the statutory cap of $350,000 on Mr. Depp's award. Okay. I will set this down for entry of an order. And can we do it on June 24th at 10 a.m. if that's available? All right.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
Mr. Chu, if you could prepare that order and then circulate it to Ms. Butterhoff, and we can have all the objections noted on it. All right.
We'll do that, Your Honor. Thanks very much.
All right. And if I get it before that date, I'll take it off the docket. Okay. All right. Again, thank you to all the attorneys for your professionalism, and you're welcome to come to my courtroom anytime. Well, give me a few weeks, but then you can come anytime. Okay. All right.
Your Honor.
Court is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
all right, so there you have it. The jury has found, after they had to fix their dollar amount because they didn't fill in any compensatory or punitive dollar amounts apparently on one of the verdict forms. And so the matter is now concluded. The jury found that the three statements that Johnny Depp alleged that were false, basically statements that Amber Heard spoke up. She was a sexual violence victim, and that was referring to the Washington Post article. Then there was the institutions protect men statements, and that it was a transformative moment that 2 years ago she was a public figure and basically felt the wrath. The jury found on every one of those that they were defamatory statements made and designed by Amber Heard about Depp, that they were false, that they were designed and intended by Heard to be defamatory. They conveyed a defamatory statement, and the jury found by clear and convincing evidence, which is higher than preponderance of the evidence, that it was made with actual malice, which is basically saying you knew it was false and you did it anyway. So the jury then awarded compensatory damages of $10 million and then punitives of $5 million. Then when you get to Amber Heard, she had several claims as well regarding articles that were published in the April 8th was the first, the Daily Mail, where Heard and her friends basically, that they made up these statements about Johnny, that these allegations were false, that they were made up. The jury found that she did not prove that those were defamatory. The one where the jury did side for Amber Heard was where Mr. Waldman, the attorney for Johnny Depp, found that the statements that basically they set Depp up, they left, there was no damage when the police arrived. So the advised attorney, they basically spilled some wine, roughed the place up, and called the police again. It was a complete setup. Jury found that Waldman's statements about Heard in that particular scenario were in fact false. So if you look at that, that's really them saying, yeah, we believe that there was a domestic dispute, so to speak, which is interesting. But, and then the final one was where the statement in the April 27th Daily Mail basically stating that the whole incident was in the end of the road for Amber Buse on her abuse hoax. The jury did not find that was defamatory in any way. And the jury found that Ms. Heard was entitled to damages of up to $2 million for those statements. Although the jury awarded no punitive punitive damages in that case. Now, the one thing I want to have to go back and double check was the court said she will reduce the statutory damages to $350,000 by statute. I'm going to tell you the way it is. I'm going to have to double check that. But oftentimes the legislature puts in statutory maximum penalties that one can receive when it comes to damage awards. So you can go and get $100 million, but the damages can only actually be by operation of law, say capped at $350,000. So I want to go back and listen to that part again, but that's where the court said that she was going to reduce that as it relates to Mr. Depp, but I didn't hear it as it relates to Miss Heard in that regard. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hats off to Johnny Depp's legal team. They won. They convinced the jury that these were not protected basically by the First Amendment, and that they were designed to defame, and it was, continue to other people with Johnny Depp in mind, and that it warranted damages, in this case, $15 million, minus apparently some sort of reduction. So bottom line is, if you look at the raw numbers, it's 15 million for Depp, 2 million for Heard. So $13 million difference, which Heard obviously does not have a, from what we know, maybe she's got a rich boyfriend or friend that could write a check for $13 million. Maybe Elon Musk is still around. I don't know. Then the next question becomes, does Amber Heard appeal? Appeals are expensive, big transcripts, and it's based on legal arguments that the court erred in allowing some testimony in, or that basically gave the wrong instructions. And, the bottom line is that's it. At the end of the day, even if there's a reduction, Johnny Depp wins a few more bucks. He got his day in court. He's vindicated. But, that's why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen. You have to choose your words carefully. And, it's easy to sometimes sit behind that keyboard. But think about it. Are you saying something that is false, or that you knew you maybe should look into a little bit closer before you say it? Well, guess what? If it affects the wrong person, they got deep enough pockets. They could be coming for you. So be careful. I thought, my hats off to them. I thought that the Depp's people weren't going to be able to make it, because it's weird, because, basically instructions are written in the sense that if as the attorneys argued, that if you believed one incident of domestic violence, then you have to rule in favor of Miss Heard. And he's not wrong. But they found that her statements were in fact defamatory, but they also said that the statements that basically they set up Johnny Depp, they, trashed the place, even though the police came and there was nothing there, found that those were in fact false. So one could conclude that they concluded that there was in fact a domestic type incident, and that, the statement made by Mr. Waldman, that was in fact made with complete malice, knowing that it was not true at all. So kind of an inconsistent verdict. That's something the attorneys for Heard and them are going to have to try and figure out today, or, not today, but at some point, try to figure it out to see what is their next strategy is going to be. It's going to be very, very interesting to see if they appeal, or if they just basically go for it and say, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. That's weird. I was just looking at my phone like, who leave me a voicemail this time? I'm like, oh. So anyway, yeah. So there we go. I'm not sure what else to say at this particular point, other than Johnny Depp wins big. Amber Heard wins a little. But at the end of the day, are they really going to get any money out of each other? Probably not. The judgment, if it stands against her, is kind of offset against what he owes. So really, I think at the end of the day, if we talk about the statutory reductions, but I'm not sure if that's for both sides. So Amber Heard really may not get anything because of the damages. Heard, Depp would come out on the punitive side, $500,000. I'm going to have to look that up, and I'll get a better answer for you, and I'll be able to explain that. So Lady Luck, do they each get the $350? I think that's what they're saying, because there's a statutory cap of 350,000 according to the judge. That's what she said. She'll, reduce those amounts to 350, but then that would be an offset. So the punitives would still be there, which would come out to the 5. So we'll have to wait and see. All right. Thanks for joining us for the live. A little bit of drama there when the jury came out and hadn't filled out the numbers. That's kind of odd. Maybe they just, hadn't got that far yet. Who knows exactly? But that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Crime Talk. Have a wonderful day.